Hey everybody, today we're going to cover buyer's agent step-by-step transactions. How to create an app file. You need to create one. If you have a question on how to, you need to go to the app files training. Anyway, you create an app file to track the paperwork and the life of your transaction. Label it as the buyer's name and address. For file type, select buyers if they're actively looking to buy now, and then we change it as we go. Keep up with your app files. Secure your client and your E&O insurance by having them sign the loyalty agreement and standard disclosure agreement. Utilize the client profile to record what your buyer is looking for. Submit these documents into the checklist for app files. Those forms are in your app files. E&O insurance, guys, you're not covered if you don't get the standard office disclosure agreement done. Don't be negligent. Get that done so our E&O insurance covers you appropriately. So get your client pre-approved. Why would we be showing people properties, guessing what they can afford? It's just a bad approach. Your right approach is get that done first. Search the MLS, set up an automatic search for your clients based on what they're looking for, and set it in a concierge mode if you need to. Some you don't. Concierge mode means you're now picking what does actually go to the clients, and you can always talk to them and see if they want you to modify what you're sending. If your clients send you a property that they want to see, verify that it meets their criteria and financing if applicable. What that means is they want a fence. You're not allowed to put a fence up in that neighborhood. Things like that. You want to make sure that it meets their needs. Go and show some homes. That's what it's all about, right? You want to get them into homes. You want them to buy one, write on one. So write up your offer. Once accepted, change in your app file to pending buyer. It notifies the system admins. So it's important that you change these headings in your app files as you go. If the property is in an HOA or CDD, send them all HOA and CDD documents. It's imperative that we do that. If it's built pre-1978, make sure you send your buyers the lead-based paint EPA brochure. It's in app files. If you can't find the CDD HOA docs, ask the listing agent for them. If they can't find them, you need to go to the manager for that location. Send the executed purchase contract to the lender, your client's closing agent. Also submit it to app files for work. Feel free to do everybody's job for them. Get it done. Also, the closing agent title of your client's contact information. Also send the closing agent title, all of your contact information, listing agent's contact information, everybody's contact information that you have. Type up the contract deadlines, guide for your clients, outlining what needs to be done and when per the contract timeline. Helps everybody stay on task. Send this to the listing agent as well. Makes you look good and keep it all together. Doesn't matter how long they've been in business. Everybody appreciates timelines. App files, and it makes sure we're in agreement. App files has a really easy one to utilize called contract deadlines. Imagine that. Use the far bar for calendar days. Upload the MLS listing into the app files in case the listing agent changes any info like commissions. So print off that data sheet or put it in a PDF and upload it into your app files. If you don't know how to do this, watch our training video, YouTube, called In-Depth App File Features. If you haven't done those things, you're missing out and you need to because it's going to help you do a better job. Instruct your clients to make escrow deposit to their escrow agent per the timeline of your contract, most likely within 3 business days. Once they put their escrow deposit, you'll get an escrow deposit receipt from the escrow agent. Upload this into app files and send it to the listing agent. And all of your contracts, write it up to where the escrow deposit is made within 3 business days of acceptance. Otherwise, you can be backtracking, chasing your escrow. Start scheduling inspections, 4-point, wind mitt, wood destroying organisms, inspections all needed for insurance. A general home inspection can be helpful as the inspector will check every appliance, electric outlet, fan, all of these things, general repairs they can take care of upon moving into the property. Once you've scheduled inspections, inform the listing agent of who will be at the property and when. Make sure you have their approval to be in that property or don't go in the property. Check the preferred vendors list and you'll see our inspection companies and the ones that we've worked with well. So upload the inspection reports into app files. It's just a smart way to keep track of them again as well, right? And again, you can always find how to do that in your in-depth app files features. Make sure all inspections, repair addendums are signed, negotiations completed before your inspection period is done. Seller, I want a copy of the 4-point WDM WinMit to confirm necessary repairs. You may only provide those to them with the buyer's approval. The buyer owns those reports. If the seller's not willing to make repairs, bring it up to FHA. Your bottom line is you're going to be backing out and getting your escrow back. Yeah, call me if you're running into any roadblocks with that. But you need to do it in the appropriate time periods or they will lose their escrow. Get invoices with the contractor's license number and itemized if the contractor's fixed, if it required a contractor. And again, especially if it's FHA and these things, you've got to have it be a licensed contractor that does the work. It's too late for them to now bring in a handyman. So anyway, if your clients are FHA or VA with financing, make sure the lender has scheduled their FHA or VA inspection appraisal. That is separate from the other inspections. Let the seller know when that will be done as well, get their approval to be in the property again. Many of those appraisers will have their own lockbox, and you may or may not even need to be there. Once the buyers have obtained insurance, inform the lender and the listing agent. Don't assume that the buyer is going to get insurance. Help them get that insurance in place. Don't let a storm come into the box and you not be able to get a sale done. If the seller does not have a survey and the lender is requiring one, make sure that's ordered. And again, upload into AppFiles and send customer copies. Remind your clients to contact water, electric, set up utilities. If you're not sure who those utility companies are, check with the listing agent. Schedule the final walkthrough with your clients. Make it as close to the closing date as possible. Have them sign the final walkthrough form. Again, that protects you that they approved the purchase, the property, and the condition when they bought it. Send this to the closing agent, title company, and the listing agent. It's just a good thing to do, and have it uploaded in your AppFiles, of course. Also, don't forget to ask me to do a DA or your disbursement authorization ahead of time. As soon as you have things in order, why wouldn't you be asking me for that? I can put it in. We can modify it if something changes. Don't wait until the day before you're closing. But even a day before is better than the day of closing. So let's keep these things in mind. Remind your customer by texting, talking in person, or emailing them to get their homestead exemption done. Sad when they don't. Attend closing if possible, collect checks, copies of the deed, and final closing statement. Take the check to the brokerage as soon as possible. And that doesn't mean a week. That means it should be within a day or two. Get that to the office. Scan and upload deed and final closing statement, upload and submit to AppFiles. And you are there, you're done. But the whole idea with being at the closing is you're just showing your customers you care and they feel happy even if you are sitting there doing nothing. That is our step-by-step transaction for a buyer's agent.